He's a regular contributor to the Stan Simpson Show. We simply call him Walk. Entertainment attorney James Walker, the author of this business of urban music. A lot of different things to hit on real quick, not much time. Let's start with Glenn Beck in the news. Radio shock jock made some unfortunate comments about the first daughter. Let's listen. Sure.
Daddy, did you plug the hole yet? Daddy.
No, I didn't, honey.
I know you're pregnant on another date.
Mm-hmm. This is in regards to the oil leak in the Gulf, and he was mocking the president's daughter, for the president mentioned that his daughter had asked him, had he plugged the hole yet. He apologized, Glenn Beck. Your thoughts? Crossed the line here, Walker, by all accounts.
He clearly crossed the line. He quickly apologized, and he's lucky that the whole Don Imus, Vivian Stringer incident didn't fall on him. He's lucky that people quickly said, hey, it's not a big deal. He apologized. Let's move on. But some of the advertisers are going to be a little shaky.
It was a big deal, I think, but being that he dodged the bullet this time. But I think there's a certain ground. You don't mess with people's kids.
Remember when Amy Carter was in the White House, and you look at John and Carolyn Kennedy when they were there running around? I always thought the depiction of the kids in the White House was that they were off limits. Right. You show some of the footage, you show them enjoying everyday life, but they're kind of living in a bubble. Right. So you don't really talk about them. So I'm very surprised that he would take that kind of cheap shot.
You're not much of a man mocking an 11-year-old kid.
Exactly.
Right? All right, let's go to Gary Coleman. Death in the news, right?
Yeah.
The child star. Everyone loves Gary Coleman. What you talking about, Willis? Well, 42 years old. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm 42 too. The Different Strokes curse. I mean, you know, another Different Strokes. Dana Plato, Todd Bridges. It seems like the whole show, since it went off the air, has always had a backdrop of negativity. He fell down, hit his head. We don't really know all the details of how he died. He was estranged from his parents. And one of the things I want to point out about Gary Coleman is he was one of the first child stars to make $100,000 per episode. There was reports in the 80s that he was making $100,000 an episode.
And then sued his parents because he felt they stole his money.
He had a trust set up for about $4 million, and he felt his parents mismanaged his trust fund.
Yeah, but you mentioned, though, the sidebar to that, Different Strokes, all those actors, those child actors, had serious problems. Is that a sidebar to the reality of when you start kids off too early in Hollywood, that they never really get quite adjusted the right way?
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, in his instance, you got to look at his size. He didn't grow because of certain issues in his growth, so that only worked against him more. When you're a child actor and a big star, you get boxed into a stereotype. And then if you look like a child still and you're 40 years old, it's hard to pick up work in Hollywood. He started getting arrested, getting in trouble, and, you know, he married a 20-something-year-old, and there were issues there. And it's just a sad story.
Yeah. Let's segue now to Temptations, lead singer. Ali-Ollie Coleman.
Treat her like a lady.
Right, treat her like a lady.
Oh,
right, Pipes. Your thoughts on the lead singer from Temptations dead?
Sad, very young too, was battling cancer for years, and it's just very unfortunate to see him go out like this, because all of us grew up on the Temptation, the moves and the dance steps, and just seeing another member go down.
An iconic song, right? Treat Her Like a Lady.
Treat Her Like a Lady, one of their most recent biggest hits.
You were recently at T.D. Jakes' forum. You just came back this weekend. T.D. Jakes, one of the great pastors in America.
Empowerment.
Sunday morning. What was that like being around with? Let's take a look at T.D. Jakes, first of all, in action. Not at this seminar, but just for folks who don't know. Here's T.D. Jakes, a little taste of what the pastor gives you.
Confidants. You will have very few of them. Confidants are those people in your life who love you unconditionally. They are into you. Whether you're up or down, right or wrong, they are into you. They are in.
All right, so you talk about COP. So talk about this seminar, sort of a 50-person power summit.
We had a power summit. He spoke at night in Milwaukee. It was a summit we put together called the World Summit on Leadership and Prayer. He spoke at night, and then the next morning we had about 50 people in a room, and he just spoke one-on-one and talked about ingredients for business success and understanding the difference between a confidant, a comrade, and a constituent. And it was very, very powerful in talking about the confidant is your best friend, the person you're close to, whereas the constituent might be for you but not your best friend. And then the comrade is not for you at all, but is against what you're against, like when Hillary Clinton and John McCain joined forces in the primary to go against Barack.
Okay.
They became comrades. So his whole point was, as business owners, be careful who you align yourself with and make sure you know who is with you, who is against you, and who's helping you grow your business, or else, someone can undermine your business.
Now, you're an entertainment attorney, also a spiritual guy, a guy like T.D. Jakes, mega pastor, Joel Osteen, mega pastor. These guys have become celebrities. They've become entertainers. Your thoughts on that now, going from the pulpit to sort of the big stage and becoming CEOs and celebrities? Is that discomforting?
Well, the Milwaukee Journal did a whole piece on what they call prosperity preaching.
Right.
And they kind of went down on both sides. It's not discomforting if used the right way. Joel Osteen, I understand, doesn't take a salary. And he goes out and speaks into...
His book's making millions of dollars.
Exactly. But I think if you're out doing good work, if you're here cleaning up Hartford,
right,
and you're touching lives, saving lives, building up the homeless to get into houses and jobs, why shouldn't Stan Simpson have a great life? If you're here using this medium platform of the Fox News Channel, the Hartford Courant, your radio show, your blog, your website, plugging everything for you, your future book, if you're using all these things to help people, I have no problem with you making money for yourself and and empowering yourself, so long as you're using it in a positive way.
So you think the prosperity, a lot of people look with a Jordan's eye on the prosperity gospel in 15 seconds, saying that you shouldn't focus on prosperity.
Less. People had a problem with Kirk Franklin when he started selling 1 million records and stomping, but when he sold 10,000 records, nobody had a problem. So a lot of it is jealousy and envy once he started selling 1 million records.
That the haters come out when you have success,
he's shaking his butt in the church. He's jumping around. Right. But when he was selling 10,000 records, nobody had a problem with him. Only when he became a platinum-selling, million-selling album artist, then everyone said, oh, my God, why is he taking Earth, Wind, and Fire and doing it in the church?
When your book takes off, you'll have the haters, too. Thanks to all our guests, James Walker, Tom Foley, Scott Gray. You can send your show comments or requests, or even watch us again at ctnow.com, and friend us on Facebook. Become a fan of The Stan Simpson Show. We're on Twitter, too. Look out for our tweets. Lori Perez and The Real Story are next. For the good folks here at Fox 61, I'm Stan Simpson. We'll see you next week.